Imagine being outnumbered by heavily armed troops. Most people would quickly give up. However, the famous Gurkha soldiers from Nepal have never known the meaning of surrender. These mountain fighters are so renowned for their courage that even their opponents have been known to pause mid-battle to acknowledge their incredible bravery. The 1814 battle that started it all. When the British Empire expanded into Nepal in 1814, they encountered unexpected resistance. At the fortress of Nalapani, positioned 600 feet above ground, just 600 Gurkha defenders faced 1,600 British soldiers. Despite being greatly outnumbered, these warriors held their position for more than a month. The first British attack in late October resulted in 35 deaths and 228 injuries among British forces caused by Nepalese arrows, old-fashioned firearms, and remarkably, rocks hurled by women and children. Even as British cannons gradually weakened their defenses, the Gurkhas refused to give up. When the fortress eventually fell in November, only 68 of the original 600 defenders survived, with some managing to escape even while completely encircled. Rather than simply conquering these fierce fighters, the British made an unprecedented decision. They began recruiting them into their own military forces, a tradition that continues today. Kulber Thapa, the soldier who earned enemy applause, born around 1888 in a small Himalayan village. Kulber Thapa served at the Battle of Loos in France during September 1915. His unit from the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Gurkha Rifles, faced the challenging task of clearing German positions while wearing protective gas masks. After being wounded and finding himself the sole survivor of his group, Thapa discovered an injured British soldier who begged to be left behind. Instead of taking the safe route, Thapa remained with the wounded man throughout the day and night. Using morning fog as concealment, he carried the soldier to safety, then returned to rescue 2 more Nepalese comrades. In his most daring act, Thapa went back for the original British soldier in full daylight. As he moved across the dangerous no-man's land between trenches, German machine gunners fired at him repeatedly but missed every shot. The German soldiers were so amazed by his courage that they actually stopped shooting and applauded his efforts. Thapa became the first Nepalese recipient of the Victoria Cross, Britain's most prestigious military decoration. Bhanubhakta Gurung, single-handed victory on March 5, 1945. Rifleman Bhanubhakta Gurung and his unit approached a Japanese stronghold in Burma, but were stopped by machine gun fire. A sniper in a tree 75 yards away began targeting them. While others sought cover, Gurung calmly stood up and eliminated the sniper with a single shot. As his squad advanced to within 20 yards of their target, they encountered at least 5 enemy defensive positions. Gurung decided to handle the situation personally, charging forward through intense gunfire in what resembled a solo mission from an action film. He systematically cleared each position, the first 2 with grenades and bayonet attacks, the next 2 with more close combat fighting while under point-blank fire. For the final machine gun position with 3 defenders, having exhausted his explosive grenades, Gurung used smoke grenades to blind 2 enemies before dispatching them with his kukri, the distinctive curved blade synonymous with Gurkha warriors. He then eliminated the 3rd soldier by sneaking into the bunker. Anticipating retaliation, Gurung and his men successfully defended their newly captured position against counterattacks. His solo heroics earned him the Victoria Cross. Lakshman Gurung, the one-armed defender Lakshman Gurung of the 8th Gurkha Rifles, demonstrated extraordinary resilience on May 13, 1945, while stationed at a lookout post near Burma's Irrawaddy River. When Japanese forces began throwing grenades at his position, Gurung threw the first one back and returned the second one as well. When a 3rd grenade landed in his trench, he grabbed it, but this time it detonated in his grasp. The explosion destroyed his fingers, shattered his right arm, and severely wounded his face, body, and right leg. His two companions were also badly injured. Despite his devastating injuries, Gurung continued fighting with only his left arm functional, loading and firing his rifle, one-handed as Japanese soldiers attacked his position. For 4 hours, he held off continuous waves of attackers while yelling challenges at them. By sunrise, 31 enemy bodies lay before his position. His single-handed defense prevented a breakthrough that could have compromised the entire defensive line. This remarkable feat of endurance also earned him the Victoria Cross. Diprasad Pun, the modern Gurkha hero. These heroic traditions continue in contemporary times. On September 17, 2010, Acting Sergeant Diprasad Pun of the 1st Battalion Royal Gurkha Rifles was on guard duty at an Afghan compound when he heard suspicious sounds he initially mistook for livestock. Instead, Taliban fighters were placing an explosive device at the compound entrance. What followed was 17 minutes of intense combat. Fighting alone in complete darkness, Pun fired 250 machine gun rounds, used up 6 rifle magazines, and threw 17 grenades, plus a claymore mine at approximately 15 attackers, approaching from various directions. When enemies got too close for firearms, he fought them off using a machine gun tripod as a weapon. At one point, he even dropped a sandbag on an attacker climbing toward his position. Throughout the battle, he motivated himself by shouting threats in Nepalese. When the fighting ended, 3 attackers were dead, and the survivors had retreated. A sensible decision when confronting a Gurkha warrior. Pun received the conspicuous Gallantry Cross, Britain's second highest combat decoration. The Gurkha Legacy. From Nepal's mountains to battlefields worldwide, the Gurkhas have established themselves among the world's most respected warriors. Their unofficial motto could be death before surrender, though preferably their enemy's death. What makes these accounts even more impressive is that these weren't physically imposing giants. Today, Gurkhas continue serving in both British and Indian armies, upholding their legendary reputation. The selection process to become a Gurkha remains among the world's most demanding, with thousands of young Nepalese men competing annually for only a few hundred available positions. The Gurkha example teaches us that when facing impossible odds, the answer is to stand firm, confront the challenge head-on, and if necessary, get creative with whatever tools are available, even if that means using a sandbag as a weapon. Thank you for watching.